infielders. And in this little cage right here, we can do all the infield drills. They're just smaller. It's just not right. You're not taking regular ground balls. The slow rollers are from a shorter distance. The double plays, short double plays, are from a shorter distance. The ground balls are different. They might be rolled. So it's not always the same, but it's adjusting, trying to make it as good as you possibly can with the space that you have. Obviously, when you're outside, man, the sky's the limit. But even when you're on one field and we have 40 plus guys, there's still some moving around that has to take place to be able to accommodate all those guys on one field. And some of you might have a varsity and JV team practicing together, so you might have a whole bunch of guys too. Then it becomes really important where guys are and how you're matching them up. What are guys doing when you're taking BP? What are they doing when you're taking ground balls? All little things like that need to come into play. When we do our infield drills, when we do our catching drills, it's usually two guys. It's just usually two guys. It could be a quick toss drill. All right, for the catchers, it could be a block drill. We usually just have them partner up. It could be a receiving drill. We have them partner up. Just be right here. One guy here, one guy here. You can spread them out all the way down. So for me, like I wouldn't be happy about having this little space right here, but we'd find a way to do it. We'd find a way to do it. The biggest obstacle I think that you have is the pitchers. Because you can't, those guys can throw short, but eventually they need the 60 feet, 6 inches. All right, and if you can only have one guy throwing, that's hard. But if I have that situation, if I have one guy or two guys, they're just right next to the cage, right here. So because this is going to be the distance, and you just put them right there. So that's going to be the way you can keep your space tight as possible. But regardless of what we have a good facility. For us, on that same philosophy sheet that we have in our clubhouse, is I will not make excuses, and I will not let my teammates make excuses. So what does that mean? That means that if that's the case for them, then it's the same for the coaches. It's just the same for the coaches. If you just have a crappy indoor facility, you have to make it work. Because if you make excuses, it's not going to do anybody any good in the long run. So you just have to find a way to get through it and do the best you can with that space. And I know it's hard. There are times you might want to say something. You might want to have body language that guys can decipher, that you might not be happy with what you have, but that's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere. A few other things that I'll just mention, just some of the things we do most days. So a ladder is, again, it's not space consuming. All right, usually the infielders and the catchers are going to do their ladder drills every day. It's going to take a little small section out. They can bang those out, no problem. Hurdles, we go over them, we go under them. Pitchers do them, catchers do them, infielders do them. Okay, and again, usually we get 6 or 7 hurdles. Mostly have track and field that you can borrow. Again, small space consumer. Sprints, we do small. If it's a short area, there are times where we're working on the 60. We have the space. If we don't have 60 and we have 40, we'll do 40. If we don't have 40 and we have 20, we'll do 20s. Okay, so whatever it is, we'll just adjust to the spot. And it's even when you have good facilities indoors, you still have to do that. We have a yoga program mostly for pitchers that we do. Again, it could be a small little space. You don't need a big space to get that stuff done. Bunt running stations, base running stations. Again, small areas, working on whatever you want. Delays, first moves, dirt ball reads. It's all stuff that can be worked into a small little area. Now, what we try to do, and I'm assuming you do the same thing with we have 4 coaches right now. Now, there was a time where I was the only coach that was there. So how we accommodated that was basically I just have the sheet, and I just hand it to one of the infielders, the older guy that knew what he was doing. And I'd hand it to the outfielders, and I'd hand it to the catchers. And let's just say I was with the pitchers. So, and I just say, okay, you're going to do this drill this many times for this amount of time, all right? And we'll switch them all around. If you have coaches that are there, then you put it on the sheet, and it's their responsibility to make sure that they follow through with whatever that plan is. But we're gonna craft that. We're gonna look at the space and we're gonna move guys around. So we're not gonna have the infielders and the outfielders right in the same spot battling for space. We'll have the infielders hit and we'll have the outfielders over there doing whatever they're doing, and then we'll switch them. So there's a lot of that. Even with the facility that we have now, there's a lot of that takes place to accommodate what we have. Catchers, no different. If this is the space we have and we just have this cage, they're just going to throw it right in. If we want to throw live, all right, we can't throw all the way down.